No, Chris, whenever you're ready to go.
You're good to go, Mayor.
Good to go? Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's keep going. Meeting call to order, special meeting of the city council of the city of Kearsarge, Texas, being held today, Tuesday, July 21st, 2026 at 6 P.M. at the Kearsarge City Hall, 214 South Ash Street, Kearsarge, Texas. Roll call for the records. Tony Hernandez. President, we have Rodney Lucio. President, hey, go. James Young, President Miranda Gutierrez. And birthday boy, Ram Trevino. President. Just a reminder. All right. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance, please. Heavenly Father, we ask for your wisdom and guidance tonight as we gather to serve our community. Grant us clarity in our decisions, humility in our discussions, and the courage to always act in the best interest of our residents. May our work tonight reflect the true spirit of leadership and dedication to the people that we represent. In your name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4, budget workshop, 4A, general fund.
Yep. Mayor, Council, good evening. We're gonna try to keep this under 4 hours. No, not teasing. We're gonna try to expedite this and get this going again. I've met, as y'all know, with most of the council members about some of these budget items. But I just wanted to be as transparent as possible with the community. We do have people here from, as far as the hotel occupancy tax fund that we disperse to different groups. So they're here, and that's part of one of the funds we'll be discussing. So I'm gonna ask if we could go to this discussion right now. And then we also have some folks that are from the Council of Government that want to give a small presentation, and it'll be related to the budget. So I wanted to make sure to give them some time after I give them an introduction really quick. So again, this is our budget kickoff meeting. We've had some discussions, but we haven't had any open discussions publicly about our budget for this year. So I'm gonna just jump into it. So most of y'all have been given a packet or have been given a packet at one time as far as what our budget looks like and some of the things that we're working on and some of the shortfalls. And some of the things we still have to work on. So again, this is not our proposed budget. This is a preliminary budget. We will have a proposed budget to you no later than July 31st, as it's referenced in our on our city charter. So Chris, can you go back to the presentation real quick? Again, I'm gonna jump into this really fast. I don't know, other stuff. Is
Another one?
it just one? Is it just everything else in?
You have that. Is this the correct one?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, yeah.
This is a little bit tough to see, but I just wanted to give you an idea of where we are with the budget council. Again, take up for y'all's time, but where we are here is, this is actually our first, not our second. We are here July 21st for the first workshop. This is what the council agreed and approved of, I think a couple of months ago as far as the schedule. So we should get our tax roll information no later than the 25th of July. We are looking to follow our proposed budget with city clerk by July 31st. We anticipate having a draft to the council the same 31st, and then proposed rates presented to the city council. I'm showing off August the 4th. I believe August the 4th, I don't have the calendar with me, but I think that's the correct day. So anyway, I won't get into all that. We anticipate having our budget approved by September the 9th. So at the very bottom, I won't get into all the details, but those are key dates that we have to have, that we'll have to have at least one public hearing. And we anticipate, if need be, having more meetings with the council as it relates to the budget. So anyway, this is our first one, so I'll jump into this. What I wanted to give you an idea of what we've been doing, and I know those that are new to the council and those that have been on the council, these are some of the things. We had a meeting back in May of 2021. I think one, at least, I don't remember who was on in May 2021, but I think quite a few of y'all were, at least half of y'all were on the council. These are the things that we were still questioning, or things that we're trying to work on back in 2021. And again, this is 5 years ago. So some of the gaps in agreement were the need for emergency awareness, needing to, the council to work together. Building human assets, clarity with regards to the intent of the council, the staff, our relationships between the council and the staff. To raise or not to raise taxes in the comprehensive plan. Those were discussions that we had, strategic discussions that we had back in 2021. And that's we actually have a report that shows what the discussions were during that time. We had a consultant come in and talk to us about, strategies and moving forward and how we were gonna work as a council and as the staff. 5 years later, if go to the next slide, Crystal. Some of the things that we agreed to 5 years ago, these were some of everybody, mostly all the council members unanimously agreed to this. Improvements to infrastructure, for an EDC / Chamber of Commerce to renovate downtown, increased housing, networking with our partners, finances, the need to work together within the community, cross-training, and PR with the mayor's message. Those were the principles and things that we have been working towards. Now, in some of this, for sure, we've done a decent job, a good job, I believe. There's other things that we still need work, and things that we need to work on. So again, how this shapes budgets, I'll go into the next slide there. So this is what we've been working on, again, past and now present. Still need to work with some things. We placed a significant emphasis on infrastructure. As y'all know, most of the council members know, if you're not aware, maybe I'll repeat myself. We have approximately over 25, and I'll go over a different report with y'all, over $25 million in infrastructure improvements that we are somewhere with as far as that we're working on right now, whether they're in construction, whether they're in design or planning phases. We are working, and I'm talking funds that have already been out, that we have received or have been allocated for the city of Pearsall through a state agency. So I want to make sure that that's clear. So it's a substantial amount of infrastructure work that we're doing. So again, I just want to make sure that to be clear that a lot of what you see in your operating budget is separate from what we're doing as far as capital budget. So some things that we're working on, this is not that are heavy capital projects. You don't find that in your operating budget. That is a completely different budget altogether. So we spent a significant amount of time and resources improving our communication with the public. Since 5 years ago, I believe our social media has gotten a lot better. Our website's better, it's improved. And now we have newsletters. So we spent resources, time. We've also hired a public information officer. I think that was the first thing, one of the things we did 5 years ago. And it seems to have gotten better as far as the communication with the public. We still have some room to go, but I think it's improved. Downtown still requires work, but we've had at least 4 vacant buildings that have been remodeled or are currently under remodel. That's been since 2021. So I can tell you that the city, at least on 2 of those buildings, we've had some assistance. We've assisted some of these businesses remodel and help them with whether they're tax abatements, some sort of incentive. The city has been part of that. I think the latest one was the clinic from Dr. Garza. That was the latest improvement, and I believe we gave an incentive of tax abatement for that property. As far as our city finances, we're in better shape now. I mean, we're in decent shape. We have a decent fund balance, and we still need to address, as I mentioned before at the last meeting, the deficit of the gas system. Those are things that we do know that we need to address, because the gas system does affect our operating budget. So I want to make sure that that's clear. That we've been talking about this for 5 years and we're still talking about it, but it is something that we know we need to address. So you go to the next page real quick. The room for improvement. I think we all agree the need for housing. I don't think there's anybody that disagrees that housing is something that we've been trying to do something for, again, at least far back as 5 years ago. We've talked about it. There hasn't been a lot of movement. There's been some stick-built homes here and there, but there hasn't been any significant housing projects. Cohesiveness and partnerships with local, regional, state agencies and entities. That still, in my opinion, still needs work. We still need to work as a council and as a staff to have decent relationships with our partners. And then continued community interaction with, and a desire to improve quality of life and a quality place for our residents. And so part of what I'm getting at there is by improving infrastructure and other things, I believe it's something that we are making an investment to. I think the community still wants to see some things, some quality of life projects. And what I mean by that is things that are more tangible. I know it's hard to believe, but people don't really see water lines go. They see it, but they don't see the water lines and the benefit to the water lines to some extent. But that's where it becomes a little difficult in the sense that they don't really see the tangible side of having the utilities and, you know, putting them in good places. So anyway, you go to the next slide, Crystal. The budget this year, what we're addressing is infrastructure improvements. That's still there. Investment in the TERS. And the county and the city have both been putting into the TERS fund. So it's been a combined effort for the past 3 or 4 years at least. Improvements to our sports complex, which again, these are all capital budgets. We intend to invest, you know, a significant amount of money into the complex this coming year. Increases to the street budget, as y'all know. I think and I'll go over that. Hector should go over that as part of the street budget. There is an increase of the street budget, some of the work we've done. So we're asking this year for $500,000, and Hector will go into some of the details that y'all need to ask maybe what that $500,000 will be used for. Fund law enforcement, code enforcement, and animal control. We are in right now. We've done a better job, and I'll let Chief and the Assistant Chief also explain that where we are with animal control and some of the work we still need to do with code enforcement. We have created a process for helping with the housing projects. Right now, as the council knows, we have a public facility corporation. And so we intend to do something and utilize that with the council's approval this year. Again, significant amount of capital improvements this year. We anticipate design and construction continue this year for infrastructure improvements. So that is what this budget addresses. That is the extent of was that the last one?
That was the last slide, yes, sir.
I'll jump into this and I'll make it quick. My presentations are really quick. I give about 2 seconds to each slide. So I will touch on this and I'm gonna let these gentlemen speak here. This was prepared last week, but I just touched on it a little bit. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Again, we're going to continue doing the same as far as some of the partners, some of the folks that you guys see up there in that third clip there. All of these people are either contracted with the city to do some function. So you have EMC Strategies. We have the Langford Group that helps with the home program. We have CDM Smith that's currently helping with our engineering work, particularly our work as it relates to the Business 35. And they're also helping us with funding for the Texas Water Development Board. YPR Engineering is currently working on design, and we're also submitting an application for a water line that extends from Refuel to HEB. We've been working with them. They're also going to build the water well. They designed the water well. With your council approved the construction of that, or excuse me, the going out for bid on the water well. So they're another one of our partners, Texas Water Development Board. Again, they're the funding agency for infrastructure for the state. We still need to, again, working with the Chamber of Commerce, the COG, they're here, the school district, county, and the regional hospital. To me, is important to help us complete our short-term and long-term goals. As y'all know, the council, and again, you'll see this right now. I'll share this with you. The revenues, the expenses far outweigh revenues. What we want to do and what we want to see. So in saying that, we've tried to prepare a budget that is sensitive to y'all, the priorities that the council sets out, and that's what we've tried to focus on with this budget. So go to the next slide, Crystal. What we prioritize this year, again, infrastructure, water lines, water wells, improvements at the wastewater treatment plant, and our elevated storage and ground tanks. And those are just some of the examples as far as infrastructure projects that we're working on right now. Streets and sidewalks, we're talking about $2 million in street and sidewalk projects to include the sidewalk project that we got approved through TxDOT and the $500,000 that we're asking for in our operating budget. 3% COLA across the board is proposed in this budget. More line, as far as operate out of the administrations, the significant increases that we had was personnel. I'm asking for assistant city manager. I'm also asking to increase that person will be responsible for HR, IT, fleet, warehouse, grant administration. And the other three line items are for legal expenses, economic development, and swimming pool. I think, again, we've gone over this individually with each one of the council members, or most of them, but they are all in your budget as far as those increases. Go to the next slide. These are other considerations, and what I put here, these are considerations, things that some of the council members had mentioned when I met with you. Some of the things that I met with, some of these kind of in general terms, but these are things that I am writing them down that we need to consider. Our EMC strategy contract, our contract with the Chamber of Commerce, increases to employee pay, additional street work, interlocal agreements with county for street work, a Christmas party. I thought that was pretty cool for employees. So if y'all get a Christmas party, it's because of the council. So anyway, that is another consideration. Improving animal control facility, improvements to Centennial Park, and these are all requests that the city council members, different council members have asked for. Digital dashboard for transparency of spending, senior gathering space and programming, tax freeze, handyman program through Public Works to assist with minor home repairs and maintenance, community service cleanup, additional funding for animal control and spay and neuter programs, small business events, additional street lights, funding for events for children, transportation funding, and emergency management coordination. Those are things, again, most of those are, again, were requests from the council. There are some things that I put in there. And so if you go, did I do something else? Is that all my presentation? I told you else. So I'd say that one of the things, we can speak about this council and other members, other things, but what I wanted to do is introduce one of the things that I put on that was transportation. And there's a group here from ACOG. I'd like to just have them come speak to some of the things. This is something we talked about some weeks back, but I told them to come here and talk to you about this. This is not in the budget now, but I'm asking the council for some consideration for this program. I think to me, it's long overdue, and it's something that to help the community, I think it would be a benefit. And I think it's something they're doing for other communities, and I'd like for them to come and speak to you guys. And so I'll pass it over to them.
Good evening. My name is Sean Scott. I'm with the Alamo Area Council of Governments. I'm the senior director over there. There's a whole lot of things that ACOG is really happy to try to partner with the city of Pearsall on. The main things I'm going to talk about right now is I'm over public safety and public transportation. And so we do all the public transportation in the 12 county region, and so it's kind of important. We really serve Frio County right now. That's how the funding is set up. Is it's based countywide and everything. And so what I wanted to talk to you about is that there's a specific need right here in Pearsall that we really need to go over and talk about just a little bit. So first things I just want to mention about public transportation is that it really supports the community in so many different ways. I mean, for almost every dollar you invest, APTA's actually raised this up to $7. You get it in economic gains. We don't. I mean, we employ people locally. We do our maintenance. We have local people that are right here taking care of everything. It creates jobs. I mean, it helps people get to jobs. It opens up employment opportunities for different people, and that kind of stuff. And then also it provides accessibility. Sorry, I'm going to say that again. Accessibility and availability of transportation to seniors. This is a prerequisite for the elderly populations in a community to avoid social isolations or anything like that, depression and loneliness that really impact their well-being and make them move out of the community and have to go somewhere else. So public transportation does a lot of things to help not the economic viability of the community and the health of the community. Next slide real quick. Kind of hard in the dark, I was back and forth trying to read this. Anyway, I'm gonna start real quick. At ACOG and Alamo Regional Transit, we have some strategic goals. If we work these strategic goals, it's the core responsibility of us to make sure that we're meeting these items every day. And so we look at this and we talk about the first one is kind of self-explanatory. The growth of the overall system and maintaining fiscal responsibility. That means we want to continue to grow, get better, but we need to make sure we do it responsibly and make sure we stay within budget. The next thing is that we need to implement regional planning studies. I'll talk a little bit in a second about our 5-year plan and everything, but the regional planning studies that the regional coordinated public transportation plan have goals that we have to meet all across the region and all across the state. And so we make sure that we look at these strategies, make sure we look at these goals and make sure they're meeting. And last, we want to make sure that the level of service fits the demand of the service. We do this by making sure that we track key metrics. We make sure that the ridership's there, the people are getting served, we're serving the right deal, and we're improving not only the economic side of it, but the community health side of it. And we keep evaluating that, and that helps us with changes in the system rapidly. Real quick, what kind of services does PARC provide? We have the ability to do different levels of service. I'll start with advanced demand response. This is the service that you call in the day before, the week before, let us know that you have an appointment, and we will come pick you up at your curb and take you where you need to go. That's the advanced demand response. The next service that we have right there is what we call Pronto, and that's very similar to Uber. We use the available app technologies to do that, and it's available. It's in different regions. It's a little more expensive to run, but it is there. And then the last one that I'll talk about real quick is our flex route services. That's similar to a fixed route service, but it runs on time instead of on specific points or a specific route. So the next slide real quick. So the current service that we do right here in Frio County, I'm sorry, I'll talk about all the services real quick just so is our regional coordination plan that we talked about. We create a transportation plan. We update this plan every 5 years, and that's what we're doing right now. So we've been having meetings in Pearsall and Frio and Atasco, so we've been having it all across the region. This plan provides the guidance on where future needs are and what unmet needs are not addressed so far. Our plan is posted on our ECOG website, and you'll find out that many grants on TxDOT require you to go in there and look at this plan and make sure that it's meeting the ideas that TxDOT wants to portray and that it meets their funding needs. So that's why this 5-year plan is so important, to get all the input and feedback we can get from every community. And so we've been hitting the road hard everywhere. We've got the draft plan completed, and we'll present it to the Alamo Regional Transit Board here in the next couple of weeks. Additional service that we have is travel training. And so a lot of people don't understand how public transportation works, or they just haven't been around it, haven't seen it. They think it's for big cities, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, but it works really well in smaller communities, especially when we get out there and we show people how to use it, how to use the technologies that we have, and how simple and productive they can become. So like I said, is that right now we do the advanced demand response system here. The problem with the advanced demand, I'll just talk about it real quick, is that right now it runs Monday through Friday. We offer service 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The fare inside the city limits of Pearsall is $2. So it's not expensive or anything like that. But the problem is there's such limited resources that it's just really not an efficient service. I mean, we end up helping ones and twos instead of helping more masses. And if you get a trip from Pearsall to San Antonio, it's taking that resource out and it's gone. I will tell you that, in 2025, we did approximately 2,500 trips in Pearsall or in Frio County. I will say that probably the majority of them were right here associated with Pearsall. This year, we're way below that number, and that's because we've had so much demand to go from Frio County outside all the way into San Antonio and stuff. And that one resource isn't able to do the trips that it's having. So while the service has effectiveness, it really is not the most efficient way to do this, and it's not the most convenient. So what we're doing real quick is I wanted to recommend to you what kind of service I thought that we could do here in this area to do that, and that's a flex route service. Flex route services, like I said, operate on a time basis. So we have a route that's designed that'll go through the city streets. But instead of it just staying on that route, it can deviate off. It's so if you have somebody that lives, a couple blocks off the route, then maybe can't get to the route because sidewalks or bad streets or bad health or something like that. We could deviate to that and still take them to strategic points such as Walmarts or HEBs or medical centers or anything like that. So they could use that route to get around and stuff like that. We have technologies, and so like I told you on the travel training that we would add those in there to get there to that. The next slide on here talks about why I think that this is a good way to go. And so we've been doing fixed routes across the region for a long time. We just our flagship one was the Connect Seguin route. Does really well, amazing. I mean, we get talked about statewide for that. The Cowboy Connect route in Atascosa County, which connects Pleasanton and Jordanton and Petite. It's kicked off and it's done really well. It's established. It has good ridership. This year we started with Bandera Connect, and we're connecting out there and it's docked up into the city of Bandera. But the two routes that I feel are most similar here are our Connect Floresville and our Connect Kidney routes. I will tell you, we started those last year, and last year the Floresville route has done over 3,000 trips. And so if you're familiar with the population there, it's very similar. And the Kennedy route, we've done over 6,000 trips. It's really taken off. Great community support. Next slide doesn't have a huge update on it. I threw this in here to show you that it starts off slow. I will tell you that until we get the marketing and we get everything put together. Ridership starts off slow. You can see that it climbs exponentially as time goes on, and it stays there. We have a little bit of dips. If you're looking at the Connects again, you're going to look at those, and that was the COVID era. And we'll see the 585 on Cowboy Connect. That's because the brilliance in me is I started that route right in the middle of COVID. So we had a great ribbon cutting, but it was really tough at that time with all the regulations that happened. So real quick on the proposal for a fixed route for y'all. We're talking about a route that could run Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to noon, and then take a break and then start at 1 to 4. And so that puts approximately 8 hours of service every day, close to 2,080 hours. Our first year projections in this area with the demographics that we're targeting and everything, we think that we could start out at around 3,000 rides per year, and it's going to grow up. I used the word value, and I should have used the total cost of this service is right at the $200,000 range. And I will tell you that Alamo Regional Transit and ACON pays 50% of that using the federal formula dollars that we received. And so what we look for is a cost share from the community. And it doesn't have to just be the city. We talk to the hospital district and everything. We haven't got any response back yet, but we do have communications going. But you can see where it's a 50-50 cost share. And we do that, and that would be exclusive to the city of Pearsall. It would run in Pearsall, and we would still continue the current demand response system that serves the entire county, including the city of Pearsall. The next page is just kind of a draft potential of what we think could work. This was the route we just designed up, and we think that there's more things to start looking at.
See the locations.
Yeah. And you can, we just picked out some locations based upon some community outreach, some community deals. This is a 1-hour headway route. It actually has time built in so that if we needed to, we could deviate on and off and get back on. These routes sometimes will get, 15-20 minutes behind, but we're working with some new technology right now that people can use the phone app or anything to actually see where the bus is. Hopefully that'll be introduced into our systems by September. But this is just a rough draft, and we're still open to a lot of things. On the next page, we'll talk about a little bit about what we provide to do this service. So we provide all the staffing, all the facilities and everything that we need to do this. We have the remote backup staff so that if our local resources are encumbered in some other way, or we have somebody sick or on vacation, we have other resources in the region that could come in and continue the operations. We're going to have our online trip planning so that if we need to use the fixed route and use the demand response to complete a trip, we still can do all that kind of stuff. We take care of all the vehicles, the maintenance, the route monitoring, the vehicle routes, ridership and progress reports to the council, to whoever needs that. And then the last slide, real quick, just to kind of start wrapping that up, is where we are right now. So, we've been having, meetings, with the relational advisory board. We usually refer to that as January, the interagency groups, but out here it's the transitional advisory board. We've had, consistent meetings, I believe it's every month out here. In March, end of March, we took a group of, elected officials, community members, and other organizations, and we took them to Atascosa to ride the fixed route out there. And it received really well, and they had a great time. It was great fun for us to do that too. In June 12th, we had a focus group, and we discussed route options, priorities, and potential partners, and what patterns we could have out here in the community. And so that just kind of brings us where we're at on our next steps, and me coming up here to talk to you, give some discussion items, let you get questions answered or anything like that. But tonight I'm looking, I know that you're not voting on a budget or anything like that, but I'm trying to gauge the feel of this, and if I have some kind of commitment that this is an interesting, viable project that we think that we're going to push for. I realize the budgets don't work that way, but I'm looking to see if this is something to keep going so that I can keep my staff engaged and working that way. Then we will continue with the public meetings for more input, better design, better development of the route, so that we have that, so that we're not trying to create this service from afar. We're trying to create this service for the people that would be using the service. And then we potentially have the capability to actually begin these operations as early as October this year, if it was pushed to that. And so that finishes me off on just presenting what we work with and how we work. Can I answer any questions or anything like that?
So for base clarity, you know, currently we have the advanced one, right? The advanced, what you call it,
Yeah.
advanced.
Yeah, you call
We
it
call it
before.
24 hours before, and like I mentioned, we talked before, that hasn't really panned out to be what we were expecting it to be, because I remember when we brought it up back in middle 2000s or whatever, early 2000s. And it started off good, but I think having to call 24 hours in advance and all this and that kind of you know, has an effect on it, because you know, I wouldn't see a little budget, maybe with 2 or 3 people, and that's about it. So this fixed route, for clarity, this fixed route is no calling, you just coming around, correct?
That is
Go
correct.
around your fixed route.
Anonymous.
We're gonna have maybe some little stations You know, where people- for people to wait and you pick them up, and it's just a constant flow.
Yes, sir.
And for base clarity also, there was a lot of misconception, honestly, on the first one, the advanced one, that a lot of people thought it was mainly for seniors. You know, and it's not mainly for seniors, for everybody. You know, as far as this one is concerned, the same way, it's for everybody, you know, kids that have problems getting to school. They can jump on this thing and on one of the routes early in the morning, whenever they go by. Get themselves to school, if so the parents, read the hell on it bus. Well, I don't know, how would that work if they're youngsters, like in high school, driving this bus, how would that? Is there any legal?
No, I mean, it's public transportation. I mean,
Public
we put a
transportation.
limit on the age. I mean, it's kind of hard to ask, 7-year-old for an ID or
Yes.
anything like that. We can establish that kind of
Mhm.
policy that at the local level, depending on what you want. I mean, so the buses all have camera systems, they all have Wi-Fi systems, and everything can be monitored and called in. We're gonna have the software so that you could see on your phone if you download the app and use that. And so, I mean, we're comfortable at about 9 to 10 years of age, that they ride, because they stay in a certain environment. But I mean, if we wanted it to be higher, we could, lower we can. I mean, there's no legal thing to stopping us.
So a question that I've asked before, and I'll ask again, so we got more people here today, is the city's gonna be responsible for the stations where they pick them up, right? We're the ones that are gonna have to set up a station.
So
Maybe a
we
little
would
light.
purchase all of the capital. So we would purchase the benches and the signs
Okay,
and all of that, and we would tell you strategically the best places to put this. And then we would ask for the city
Yes.
to help us install that. It's difficult for me to install.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. And,
Yeah, we pay for all that. And then, something I didn't mention in this that has been discussed before is fares. How much does this cost? And, right now, all of the routes that we're running right now, all the communities chose to suspend fares. So there's no charge on this, on those routes to the client. But we do market it that it's a $1 fare. The reason is it's just technicality that in order for us to operate, we're supposed to have that available option. According to our 5th grade 11.
so the ones that are going on right now in Fortville and, what's the other one? Kennedy, where they're not, none of them are charged. They just
Everybody's got
run the
suspended
route.
fares right now.
That's about right now. $200,000, that's all they're gonna cost. The total cost, right? And
That's the total.
total, right?
And I'm gonna cover 50%.
50%. So the 100,000 that's left, it's between us and maybe the other ones that would benefit a whole lot would be the hospital, I would believe.
The hospital district.
They're the
they
ones,
want
you know, that a lot of these people be going into the hospital, sure, courthouse would be maybe the county also, maybe it could be a three-way split, you know?
So if you're also talking about kids, then I think the school is involved.
The school district too, and,
I mean,
I've never been successful with the school district, I will tell you that, just because they're running their own buses and everything like
Yeah.
that. But you could see the
You
stuff
got your own
we
bus
had on
routes,
there.
Yeah,
It's certain-
they do run a bus system, but they don't run it in those areas.
right here in town, they don't, they don't, some kids can just walk over to that little spot there, close to the
And
house.
so, yes, it's definitely think that, because, you know, the school district doesn't serve
But
2 miles,
yeah,
we have 2 miles of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good program from what I can see.
Yeah, I can see, yeah, and then we can minimize it and get those 4 entities to. Barrel down those 100,000, I believe is what the 4 entities will be responsible for. You know, like 25,000 apiece, you know, I think.
We need to set a meeting with them so that
Oh,
we
definitely, yeah, definitely,
Can you go back one page, please?
definitely on that, you know, it'd have to be.
Or no, that was the bus route, I'm sorry. There it is.
Like I said, this was just a draft coming up,
It could be changed,
me picking demographics and trying to make sure I was in the right neighborhoods.
you know.
You can see we got time built into it,
All the time.
so that we can deviate off of
I
it.
would say, take Department of Public Safety, where's that?
Right over between the city hall and the fireman's park.
Yeah, I would remove that and probably put one at the Westview Apartments,
Where's the West?
Where is that?
On the map there?
right there. Right there.
Okay. Is it more up there? Or-
There's a little turnaround there,
Uh-huh.
there's a cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
and then it drops off to the right-hand side where it goes into the apartments.
Okay.
Maybe in the cul-de-sac.
Right there.
That'll be a lot for you.
I'll be with her.
All
That would be easy to have in.
Yeah, yeah, and that's close to the bank, that's gonna be close to where HEB is too, that's right there where the restaurant is, there's another hotel there, there's, yeah, I think that'd be a great place.
Well, it would be something for us to look at, you know, we decide to go with that, look at better options on the routes and. Well, that's a real good idea.
With gas prices, I'll take you.
That's right.
Believe me, I know the gas prices.
Now,
No, that'd be good, just adding the one right there, I think that's the only one
The
that,
apartments,
yeah, the apartments.
Huh.
I mean, Fireman's Park and the courthouse, they're right close to each other, so you can probably drop that down to one.
and really, I mean, the reason it was done that way is those were points of interest, but it was trying to get the route down to the Frito apartment there, so it was gonna go by, so. we
Exactly.
Put it on. And that's what we did, and that's kind of the understanding is that this system, it doesn't matter where you are on this route, I don't care if you're gonna stop or not. If you wait, the bus will stop and pick you up. So you don't have to go walk to the stop, you can, if you just get to the route.
No, that's not, that's like, it doesn't go over.
that would be something.
Yeah, that's good, I mean, that's something we can start looking into and seeing different stuff.
Like I said, I'm just trying to make sure that we got interest to continue moving forward with this project.
I think council would be fair to say we can start moving forward, is that something?
Okay, yeah, I mean, I feel that we should move forward.
Oh,
We could get
That's good.
together and do
That's
that.
really good. Yeah, we can use it. I, I even like the one that said, anybody's got good connections here on the council or anywhere, I like what it said, vehicle wraps, they might be able to pay for it all. You know, somebody out there that's got a good business and they're pretty good, like James Yard, you know, has this thing. Has a little bit of up there, a little bit of change, yeah, very country. I gotta think about it.
I just want to emphasize. I do want to emphasize.
Or 3 months, 4 months later, more mouth entertainments, you know. You know, I would look, I mean, if anybody, and honestly, without, you know, any more joking around, honestly, anybody's got those connections to town with somebody, you know, hey. Throw a little fishing line out there.
Election's right around the corner.
While we're starting going, and I think they work.
And you saw the hours and everything's flexible on this because it's just hard because we've been doing about an hour. I'm giving you what I think is the most successful, gives us a real avenue of success to start out with. Second, the only thing that didn't emphasize is that, you know, this isn't something that we're just gonna do for 1 year because this is gonna become part of the community. And everybody, I want everybody to use it. And so we can't just, we don't like it, it'll be a hit. You know, we've gotta cut something and everything. And I know you can't encumber the next group, but I think it's important to know that once these things start and start taking traction,
Yeah.
that the public gets really involved.
Any other question, council? Anything else?
Closer to Warburg.
City manager, anything else?
Thank you. But, you know, I'm sorry to leave y'all in the middle of.
That's okay, it's all right, we gotta go work, start working on your route, let's go. Get the road.
Get the guy going.
Hey, get the route going.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Licey, you got anything to say?
Joseph?
You got anything to say?
No, sir, thank y'all very much for your.
You covered it all. Lisa, thank you, good job.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you, guys. Moving on, what do you got next?
Mayor, council, and then, we'll jump into each of the budgets from the different staff. Again, part of what I put on the administration budget was just that I know there's a lot there. Actually, as a courtesy, we have the 3 folks, if y'all wanna go with the hotel funds before we get into the general fund, the utility fund. Maybe we'll let them go a level on where we're trying to stay through the whole thing, but. These are the groups that we as far as the hotel funds, so I'm saying that I think y'all we can do that.
Yeah.
Mayor's that
We're ready.
hotel funds, we'll start out with I think we'll put the budgets up there on the screen. Somewhere, let me see if I can. We go to hotel fund, Kristen, 122. Again, council has the packets and how we came to those numbers. Any details you can ask them or ask Brooke would be more than happy to share some of the details. Some of these budgets, so anyway, that's, if you have, any of you have those packets, it's page. You just go to the expenses.
Yeah.
We generate between $350,000 to $400,000 of hotel tax a year.
How much a year?
About between 350 to 400,000, yes, sir. So you'll find that in your budget on the revenue side. And so we first the collection from hotels. We also put in the collection for the revenues from the civic center are also in there as far as revenue. And you can see some of the expenses. I'll go over some of the expenses we have. Most of the expenses we have there, council, are related to our staff and their cleaning of the civic center and the overtime use. So you'll see that in there. Some of their benefits are included as part of that budget. We also have some utilities, of course, all the basic stuff that we need. And one of the 2 things that I wanted to clear up is so you'll find both these budgets. You'll find budgets for community. We still need to work on this one. There still needs to, there's a prior on this, but under community promotions. We can touch on this. There's a budget there that shows $150,000. And so the $150,000 is a bit off, but we'll try to tweak it. So what we normally do, council, for this year, we had proposed $75,000 for the Hispanic Heritage this coming, I'm talking about this coming year. 75,000, 25,000 for the cook-off, so that's 100,000. They also do work with the Clay Busters, the museum, and also here, they're all part of that budget. So that's what compromises the entire budget. It's comprised of, excuse me, and so that's where community promotions come in. Each one of them are here to kind of go over their respective budget. I think Albert, of course, handles the Hispanic Heritage Festival, and he's been helping this is the first year on the cook-off. And then, the doc is here, representing, the museum, and then the Clay Busters, we again, all receive funding out of that line item, which is 101,340. We are asking for some funding that will be coming from our reserves, which is where there's an area there, 101,342. We're gonna put more money, request more from the reserve contingencies. And the reason for that is because we're asking for reserves to help with the grant that we're receiving from the Texas Parks and Wildlife. That'll be the match that we're asking for reserves to come out. So that will be changing. So with that, again, I'll let whoever wants to go first as far as any questions y'all may have to the different events and what we provide as far as budgets for each one of the events. And each one of them is here to answer any questions that you may have. I know that if you have Dr. Born's request, there's Dr. Born's request. He's the first one in line. I'll let him go first.
Good evening, and appreciate the opportunity, Mr. Mayor and Council. As you can see, this is just real briefly. You can see that better than my little piece of paper. We spent just shy of $2,000 last year on the Pioneer Day back in March. And basically had a very good turnout, a wonderful day. Things are getting more and more expensive, as everyone knows. And we anticipate probably close to almost a $2,500 increase this coming year in 27. That would be March 20th, by the way, put that on the calendar. March 20th of 2027. So basically, we've got a lot of expense out there to put this on. It all happens in the day. We bring the gunslingers in the night before to set up. They spend the night at one of the local hotels. And so we've got, the museum is a vital part of the community and trying to go back and show our history. And this is something that, is one of the tidbits on the hotel motel tax benefits. That's one of the things listed. So, very, very little explanation needed there, but any questions for me?
Dr. Gorham, I got one question, and it might be out of whack or not out of whack, but maybe it's something that you want to consider, something the other organizations would consider. But I've noticed, I've been part of this for a long time, and what I noticed is that we always have that at the same time that Little League has their opening day. And man, we lose a lot with a lot of people over there and vice versa, people there, people here. I don't know if it's God sent that it's gotta be there or what it is. Maybe it's a topic of discussion when you guys meet again or something, maybe the week before, the week after. But I would think that, I don't know, Little League, when they would do that, but it happens to be that it's always at the same time. And
To that point, historically, we've been at this same date for almost 27 years. Okay. Historically, up into the last few years, Little League never opened before first. Okay, and we counted on that. And then here in the last 4, 5, 6 years, it's been, well, we try to coordinate. And then boom, we wind up on the same day. That's why we've set our date a year in advance and trying to.
Yeah. We got a connection sitting right there close to the Little League, just sitting down right now, so. Maybe get together and put it out,
Well, now that it's been announced, it'll be out there.
Yeah,
On
and so-
Internet.
Hopefully, we won't have conflicts, but we've
Whichever way
tried,
it can
talked
work out,
about it.
then it would
You know,
be-
we
would be
spent
better for
3
the
sessions
community.
trying to decide, what do we do, what do
Yeah,
we do?
historical, yeah.
When we finally decided, we're gonna have to go ahead and set our date.
Yeah, historical. What about, as far as grant money for them, Fred, you know, it's, you got your museum, Joe's, yeah, I remember that we made it a preserve it as a historical preservation. You know, building,
I don't know that the apply for any grants is.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that.
We have not, but we were trying to get young lady to go through some training for grant writing. In Mary Catherine Carnes,
Uh-huh,
and she went to 2 sessions. But we haven't been able to finalize it just yet.
yeah.
Because we have, as a sideline, the old Presbyterian church
Church,
here
us too, matter of fact,
is in need of a complete makeover.
if I may interrupt you just a little bit on that, matter of fact, I got all the information over to Pastor Nieto and said, man, meet with the board or whoever's responsible for that. And see if we can get something, 'cause I think for those, like even anything that's historical, I think the voting is in December. 2026, which is around the corner, and
Yeah.
there's some good grant writers out there that might be able to hold, slip it in there, maybe you can make something happen. Well, that would be tremendous help, you know, there's a lot of money, every Thursday, there's a lot of money out there.
And we was planning a pancake supper in recognition of that need. It's not gonna cover the need. Okay, but it's
Yeah,
a PR effort,
yes,
and that will be coming up October 6th, I believe, is the date there, so we'll get.
yeah, something to throw around with your
But
organization.
it's something we get the word out,
Yeah,
because that is a major need.
yeah, it is, and these historical markers here in town, you know, places, they qualify for a lot of money. You know, and it's been said out there for a long time, it's been said at the state level that it's recognized that, yes, you know, as historical, so. I would suggest somehow, we figure something out with somebody and get those monies. To help out, it'll really help, you know, you could bring in 30 more soldiers. You know, or 40 more or something, you know. Yeah. But yeah, that's something.
Appreciate it.
Anything else, Nelson? Anybody else, anything else? No,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Hello. Someone put that. Sorry, sir.
Chris, not going. Is it from me? January. January? Somewhere like, oh, it's January.
26, I see.
My apologies, I thought it was gonna be the chamber one.
See what? Oh, good, then going to do it all. Got it right, yeah.
No, you know, you're right.
Years. Right.
Mhm.
Hopefully they're not like Starbucks, they gotta shut down because no employees.
It just doesn't look like you even have.
No,
Start off right now.
I have the chamber one.
So.
Did you, I mean, you also wanted me to talk about the.
Oh, and you wanna do the chamber first?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna refer to the, what's cooking out there, the group, the cook-off. But, I mean, unless y'all just wanna, if y'all have any questions for the cook-off before we do the chamber one. We're gonna go into it too.
Yeah, do the chamber.
Okay. I don't know if y'all have an opportunity.
Downstairs.
So you guys, again, just a reminder, with the chamber, we have an agreement with them. The agreement is right now is 30% of, you provide 30% of revenues. From hotel tax, and so that we pay on a quarterly basis. On average, we pay, give or take. There are 20-something thousand a quarter to the chamber. And now remember that that agreement is an agreement between the tourism and visitors bureau and the chamber for them to manage that part of the work, that work for the city. So in saying that, that is an agreement that dates back to 2023. It's been 3 years, I believe. It's been 3 years, and so 2, 3 years, I can't recall, but nonetheless, we can share that agreement with y'all. But part of what we asked the chamber is to provide us financials, but also to provide a budget year to year. Then in those part of those discussions last year, what the council did, as a reminder, we went from we were giving 40% of the revenues to 30%, so that's where we are right now. So because
But it all comes from the hot tax, right?
yes,
Hotel tax.
yes, sir, that's
Yeah,
that's an
yeah.
agreement.
that's
The
what
agreement
we
we have from
talked
those came as a template. It came from the Hot Tax Association. I can't remember the association in the state of Texas. There's a guy by the name of Scott Jostler of the hotel. Oh, I can't remember the association, but nonetheless, it's a template that we received from them, and we tweaked it some, and now have that agreement with the chamber. And that's where we are. But as far as any revenues or expenses, I mentioned the revenue side, and again, to give you a percentage, give or take, we have about 30%, as we mentioned, goes to the chamber. Give or take, we have about 30%. 35% of those two operations of the civic center and other operating the same. So it's almost spread into 3 different categories. The other one would be the events that we have. So you have over $100 and something thousand that goes to different events and functions. So that's how the dollars are spread out right now. So you have about a third, and a third, between $100 to $125,000 to go to events, operations of the administration of the city as far as the civic center, and then the chamber. Those are the three-way split, if you will, for the hotel tax. So again, Juanita's here to answer any questions you guys may have as far as it relates to expenses.
Well, yeah, but Juanita, on that last event that you had, we talked about already, that was a heck of an event, but what was the cost and how close was it to your budget and all
That
that?
was 50,000 was allocated for the July 4th.
How much?
Like 50,000.
50 or 50?
50,
50,000.
50, and we came in right under 50. Right.
Music and everything else that was involved there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I believe the only thing Doc did, or the only thing he changed was he added those events. If we were gonna have them again, like as far as numbers, like for the budget, he added the Watts Cooking, the July 4th. If we were gonna have them again. But that's the only thing that he did, he changed those numbers. And that's something that's up to y'all, if we're gonna have them again, and who's gonna oversee.
Mayor, just so you know, what we agreed is 50,000 because it was 250th anniversary. We agreed to make it a 2-day event. So that was the reason we used hotel funds for it. What we've been doing previously is we've been coming out of the general fund because it was a 1-day event. When we were doing it at Sunday. That's so we were putting money from the general fund, not the hotel fund, for just our July 4th. And so if we're gonna do July 4th, again, if we're gonna go back down and spend less, then we can put it out, pull it out of the general fund, but I just need some, to Juanita's point, some direction as to, whether we're gonna continue that to be a 2-day event or 1-day.
What do you think on a 2-day versus 2-day? Of course, to be able to, grab from the hot tax, it would definitely 2-day deal is to try to get those people to stay over. That's what they usually do if they stick around for 2 nights. But what do you think?
It's really up to you. It's up to you, what you want to budget into. I believe for this being the 250th, I think it went, for the first time. Something like that at that park.
Can they work something with 50,000 in 2 nights?
Challenge you have, Mayor, just so you know,
Okay, yes.
it worked out here because it was a weekend. You have it on a Monday or Tuesday, And then you wanna have a 2-day event on. That would be, I think that was the consideration, the fact that it just kind of.
got you,
yeah. We can-
It's on the weekend, yeah.
Yes, sir. There was.
Next year's gonna fall, fourth is gonna be on a Monday. No? I'm Sunday, Sunday because it's Saturday.
Sunday, 'cause it was Saturday. Yeah. So it's Sunday. So really, that has a big factor into it.
Yes, okay, yeah, definitely.
And it just depends if I continue doing it or not, you know, that's really what it comes down to.
My only concern is into a 2-day event, then the planning, and its corresponds with other cities that are doing it the same day, at the same time. So we're not gaining all that attention that would be utilized for 2 days. And then also, we're having to split that funding with a big event as well as the Hispanic Heritage Festival. So I think that's where the questions are coming in from the community is, where is this money going and how's it being spent and how's it being coming back to the city? And that's the transparency that we have to work on our end. But again, those are the questions. They're big events, don't take me wrong, they're good for the community. I mean, I'm all for it, but it's just those dotting our i's, crossing our t's to see where is it suitable for 2 years? Cause I think in the past years, we've been throwing it just cause I believe Mayor Briscoe had wanted it and it was a last minute thing to plan. So it's hard to see, and I think a lot of us have concerned that Juanita is doing a lot of these planning on her own. So it's like now giving her 2 days and I just wanna see a lot more from the chamber.
I'll say what I said last year, the year before that, and the year before that. Is we're doing an event that everyone around us is doing. What I like about the Hispanic Heritage is that we're the only ones doing it, so everybody's here. I mean, personally, I would say, if you wanna do a 4th of July, do something small just for the community. And then find another event that no one does, maybe do like Easter, do something big for Easter, because no one does nothing for Easter.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Or, I just threw that out there, so I'm.
Another one, I just had a thought in my head, I just got a thought too, I just got something that just flashed on me. Everybody seems to do their event around us on July 4th, right? What about making it a big bang at 12 midnight for July the 4th, which is the day before,
The 3rd to the 4th.
and carry it on the next day? That way, what I'm trying to say is, she needs 2 days to be able to grab that money from the hotel. If they come in on that night before and spend the night there and listen to the music, and at 12 midnight, bang, here comes the fireworks. And they gotta go stay. My dog is gonna have to go stay.
Yeah, that's nice and dandy, but I mean, you gotta also think that a lot of people on 4th of July. It's the river.
Well, that's always gonna be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you wanna truly catch people, do it on an event that nobody's doing it. And it's not about the river time, because I mean, you go to the river, you go to Tomcat, man, everybody's, I mean, you can't get a spot. You know, so I mean, honestly, right now you can't, well, right now. Honestly, you have to be creative in the mindset to find, okay, you know what, everybody's doing 4th of July. Everybody's going to the river, like, let's think of another of it, not only that, pick something that the weather's not too bad.
I agree.
Do like a March Madness,
Yes.
you know, have a event in March,
Sprinkling.
yeah.
But question for Liz, did you get any numbers with your popular app? that
For
you
the
got?
4th of July?
Yeah.
Yes, that was presented at the last
Okay, so
meeting.
what was the numbers that people came in that day that you remember?
16 something.
I can't remember.
1600.
1600? Yeah, she's plus 1600.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah, but
how many people went to?
No, that was the.
It's the same kind of.
That was the
but
other, but I was
yes,
saying,
1600.
she did the 4th of July, but I couldn't remember.
Oh, 4th of July.
Yeah, how many people, 1600?
Yes, sir. So on the 4th of July, it was 1600, and then the 5th was 143 for the
Yeah,
crowd.
1600, that's good, a lot of people. You know, still for an event.
You know, I come back to whatever it is you wanna go. And if you give me general guidance, like you just said, something at another time, that's perfectly fine for me too. That's
I mean,
something that I'll
it's really-
look for,
It's really
but
up
I
to you
agree.
what we wanna capture. Do you wanna go along with everyone else, or do you wanna do an event that no one else is doing?
Right.
Capture the biggest momentum of it and create something yourself.
I think part of mayor council, what Juanita and I think Albert were talking about, we met sometime, I think they're so back. But part of what they want, we wanna stick to is a signature event. If it's the Hispanic Heritage Festival, the idea is, can we put more things behind? Can we do other things to make it big?
Oh, yeah.
So the idea is to have it the same day, that,
I mean,
we want to recognize it as, the signature event, if that's the direction of the council. But just adding other things to it that maybe, instead of having 4,000 or 5,000, maybe you can have 5,000 or 6,000 people.
And that's a great point, because Boutique, you don't hear nothing else that they do other than
That's right.
Boutique Strawberry Fest.
That's right.
That's right.
And that's what we're trying to create, a signature event.
Zeta Fest.
And the Hispanic gets bigger each year. Now that we're having the previously too, it's getting big.
Exactly. Well, that was the point behind combining it, like CM said, we're trying to create a signature event. So that's why we're trying to, this year, we're combining the,
Hey, if it was up to me, I'd say put everything that is Spanish Heritage Fest, make it huge, and keep that rolling.
Yeah.
And
I want you to do that. I'm not gonna follow this.
bring it back to the west side, bring it back to the Boulevard Market.
you
Mr.
better.
Martinez. I'll find the parking thing.
Oh, no, the fireworks, the 4th of July.
We can do that too, the fourth and on,
July fireworks, that was.
but that's ultimately our goal, we're trying to create a signature event. Any guidance, any suggestions, any,
Well, I was gonna tell you what's gonna bring the people. Whoever you, more about will tell you that, whoever you bring to, like, what big band you gonna bring to, that'll bring out the crowd.
But
That'll bring you the
but here's the thing, you're 100% correct, who you bring. But with 4th of July, how many towns are you competing that have a bigger budget than we have? So the good artists for 4th of July go gone.
and
We're
that's why.
second place for it.
That's why a lot of places have their Freedom Fest, have their July Fest, and they don't have it exactly on the 4th. They have it a couple of weeks before, the week before, the week after, plus everything else is cheaper when you don't do it on July 4th. These.
And you do it afterwards, you get the fireworks cheaper. right?
Exactly, you do it before, or do it after, and it's much cheaper than the actual July.
I mean, it's the same doing Easter Fest.
What's up, what are you doing?
But-
I'm putting it.
Easter Fest, and you get the church involved, you get all the churches, you get everyone involved. No problem. Hey, I'm whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, brainstorming, look at it, when,
So there's things you need to look at.
yeah.
But like I said, do one event, one huge event, always.
Mayor, again, the part of the discussion, and then see the part again, I know that some of the council members have expressed some things as far as the chamber. So again, we suggest some thoughts as far as the chamber, and, what you would wanna see. As it relates to better relationship with chamber, wherever it is, we can improve on, that's.
Yeah, on the chamber end of it, all I have, Juanita, and I think I've expressed this too, is just the transparency as far as budget, as far as to allow the community to know that where is this funding ultimately is coming from the hotel motel tax, but the transparency as far as what's being worked out behind the scenes that are that we want to put out into the community to making sure that they know how this is, if there is of course, we already had discussion, we don't control what the board of the chambers are doing. But it's just a matter when it comes back to us that we request that the records are coming into us and there's transparency on that end. To show that track of where the actual funding is going. And the same thing we expressed with Watermount is, that transparency to show this is where it went, this is what was spent, this is. Things like that.
Yes, and just take it as part of the funding, anytime you get funding, you just itemize it, where it went, bring it to us and.
Well, I turn in my financials monthly, that I do.
That's all it's needed.
That's what I do.
Let's say,
monthly. I turn it on financials, so, I mean, if you want it, we do work, we're working on economic development, we work we're trying to work on. Workforce development, that has been a big one, and that has been a big project, because it takes a lot of entities working together.
Part of maybe just in council, just part of the discussion was really what you want the chamber, again, you're not, you don't direct the chamber, but you do fund.
We do fund it.
And my point is, what do you anticipate for them to work on? Realistically, one to one person, and so the idea is for her to work. As far as helping with the workforce development, on top of what we're asking her to do with tourism events, then that's what, I mean, I think it would be, unfair for us to say, hey, we want you to do all of this. And you're one person, I mean, so there has to be some balance, right? But the direction to me, again, from a funding standpoint is, we're giving you this funding because we want you to work on campus, we want you to work on the. We want you to work on, and as paid members of the chamber, we're asking you to work on this, so that's the direction, but again, those are the things that as council, we allow the use of the building, we have that. And then you provide the funding, so you do have the funding part of it is really. Without the funding from the city, there wouldn't be much change.
And we're going through a revamp, we did contract with a PR communications outfit out of San Antonio, and Mayor knows, we've already recorded him. Soon we'll release some of the new info that we've already recorded and created and whatnot. It's gonna become completely revamped. And the magazine and all of that. It's just taken a while because everything is expensive, very expensive, especially when you're running PR. So we've been able to save and accumulate instead of accumulate. That's how this has come about. But we're doing a completely different revamp, and we've recorded some businesses already. And I think we'll be pleased with it, but it takes time and it takes working.
Yeah, and not, and just not on not just to focus on the entertainment and things, but I think I mentioned this at the very beginning, is part of my main focus is a lot has to do with the economic development as far as what you're talking about, the workforce, the putting Pearsall on the map and things like that. And, entertaining these developers and these businesses that want to come into the city. That's another thing aside from the party scene,
Yes, exactly.
What about a big event downtown for the businesses? They come out, think about it. Don't tell you every now, think about it. But something to bring our businesses out.
And support our local talent.
What
We support local talent.
Right here.
Every town that I see, they always get their local talent, and with us, it's kind of like, do get them, but not everyone.
Yeah, I think something about that, or something, major little event downtown, so they'll come in, downtown businesses, they bring some of those from outside, something else. Load it up. Load up the fruits, load up everything. Have a good day later there. Any other questions? Hey, moving on.
Yes, sir.
That's good, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Well done. Well done. Very good. Thanks, man.
The man of the hour.
So, good evening, council members. As y'all are aware, my funds are already allocated, which was, as Mr. Reyes had said, it's $75,000 for the year for this year and $75,000 for next year, which was a 2-year contract. I'm pretty sure y'all are aware of that. We're ready for October the 2nd, October the 3rd. I hope you all schedule for that Saturday, at least the Saturday, as you all know, for you. So I did reach out to invite y'all, because I do bring y'all up on stage to introduce you all and stuff like that. But we're ready.
Thank you for bringing Stephanie.
Thank
you for bringing the female.
Yeah. And Mayor, just, for the majority that has already been here, just really quick to kind of shed some light on how this project started. The goal was heads and beds.
Yes.
to get our out of towners. I do get that question a lot. Why are we not letting our local and I get it, we've had throughout the years, this is 7 years later, we're still doing it. Budget was cut just a little bit this year, as you all know what I was given last year. But the focus was to bring the out of town people to our, to our town, to stay in our hotels.
Yes.
I think I've succeeded in the last 6 years. Yes, I can try to kind of fit them in there. But being times that we've noticed that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, it's a little too early. People aren't really getting out there, especially on a Friday. So it's kind of hard to give them $1,000, $2,000 when there's hardly anybody that would kind of witnessed it on 4th of July. The first band starts at 5 and it was blaring hot. So it's really hard. So not for y'all to think that I don't want to include the local talent. But the main focus is our heads and beds. And if y'all refer to last year's, we had over 47 vendors, but 33 of them were from out of town. Throughout the years that I've traveled to Poti, to Lidl, to Catula, to Eagle Pass Del Rio, these vendors that come, especially the out of town vendors, they're pros. They're not your typical set up a canopy, get a Blackstone out there and sell tacos. These people do it for a living. So, and just a heads up, I'm full. I don't even, we don't even advertise them because it's a repeat. Put us down, can we, and I'm still trying to see how I can fit a few more in there, especially that time. So, for you new council members, the way I've designed it is out of town vendors first, nonprofit, then our locals. And again, don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't want our local vendors to participate, but it's our local vendors are gonna go home down the street to their homes. The out of town vendors gonna go stay for 2 nights, maybe 3 nights in our hotel, which is what the RFP was designed for, as you all designed. My numbers seem to have been pretty good for the last 6 years. I've got 2 more years to go before we either keep going or, I get fired or whatever happens. But other than that, we're ready for October the 2nd, October the 3rd. So I hope you all can make it. Anybody got any questions, anything, any concerns, Mayor, anything? Yeah, Mr. Gunn?
No, thank you.
I just,
Who's gonna play?
everybody's good? I released the line. You didn't see it?
I was thinking we were gonna say something to that. Yeah, we saw it.
Definitely the iconic.
Definitely.
Iconic. Yeah, and again, it's, the lineup is,
So good, oh, huh?
the lineup is always designed to see. Is it gonna attract the out of town? Yeah, there's already people saying, we've already blocked this weekend away, so we can go stay in prison. Especially from Mike and Mike. And mind you, Stephanie has not been here in 8 years, so I think she's gonna be a big attraction.
Yeah, and I believe the iconic, well, Jimmy passed away, but I think Jimmy played 16 years ago here in Pearsall at my wedding.
It is.
So, yeah, that's gonna be fun to
It's
see.
gonna be, and he's designing a pretty good tribute, but we can't talk about that.
Thank you.
There you go.
She got excited for Stephanie, right?
Oh, I did too.
And I got excited when I saw Denzel on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah, that's gonna be, yeah.
man, I got excited. You know what?
And now with the cook-off,
Because they were your students.
they were, yeah.
That was my first time.
They couldn't play. They couldn't
Baseball.
play.
Yeah.
Oh, they could.
We won with him too.
They couldn't play. Oh, they could play too.
Awesome, all right, any more questions? No questions? Well, no, well.
Everybody's good?
Yeah.
All right, and y'all need anything, let me. Oh. Not better.
Well, I don't know you would have stopped.
Motion to adjourn.
Hey, there's a motion to, no.
I didn't know.
Next to start.
Council Lee, the next, on the general fund side, I guess we can start with, who's the next one?
Well, Playbusters isn't here, did you wanna hold off on theirs?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's just for the next time.
In the meeting, I'll call you back.
Right, right, that's fine, my part.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, look, see, it. Oh.
Hey, he's got right.
Oh, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
As you said, the VIPs and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Good night, sir.
Next. We got, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna start with the general fund, and so again, I mentioned some things as far as the budget, administration budget I had. Again, I do, ask for the input on the additional request, because again, the preliminary budget does not include some of the things that were, requested or made by council, so.
What's the wish list?
Those are items that.
You know what I was told when I was a little kid every time I give myself about this? That's a little bit, maybe you'll get that, keep wishing,
But sometimes you do it. Yeah.
Hey, Fred, before we start with other things, with the budget we currently have, where are we at as far as tax? Is it going to maintain our tax base, or are we going to drop our taxes?
We get our values, we're looking at about, we get our official values, I think on the 20, but I'm anticipating they're gonna come in same day. So what we're looking at right now, council, is we received, I believe, our preliminary back in April, and it was about a $10 million decrease in values, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's okay. So it's not a bad thing. So the good thing is we didn't have any reductions. So the bad thing on that is again, where we are with expenses, and can you go back to that budget, Crystal?
So also, are we taking into consideration a conservative approach on our sales tax? Because I think this year we're going to probably be shortfall, right?
Yeah, we are, and Brooke can actually, does Christina on the call?
Yeah.
Christine, can you kind of go over some of the revenue assumptions on the tax side?
Sure. So the sales tax, what we did was we looked at prior year collections and anticipated a 3 to 4% increase in sales tax. With the ad valorem, we're keeping it relatively flat just because we're not anticipating a huge growth in the tax base, but we wanted to keep the tax rate the same. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we're not wanting to make changes to the tax rate, but keeping it the same would allow us to stay where we need to be, use a little bit of fund balance, but then allow the citizens some relief as far as tax rate.
Yeah.
Did that?
Can you go, Christine, can that revenue there on that revenue, just go, on the transferring, can you explain to the council on the revenues transferring, what that means for them, for what you're doing there, or what's being done there?
Okay, I'm sorry, I could barely hear you. What was your question?
On the transfer in for the revenue summary, it says 521,122. It's on page, I don't know. These things aren't numbered, are they? It shows, and so what you'll see on that's what I'm understanding is what we're gonna pull from reserves. Is that fair to say, Christine?
Yes, sir. It's use of fund balance.
Yeah.
And you still will have a minimum of 6 months, and the GFOA recommends 4 months, so you're still 2 months ahead of the game as far as that's concerned.
Which means 6 months of operating expenses. Is that right, Christine?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So that's what the plan has been. So again, council, we've had we've never, to my knowledge, we haven't done as far as where we're operating on the negative where we're asking for more than what this year's I say exception in the sense that we are asking to use fund balance. We are on the general fund side is $521,000. So you'll see there, we'll go over each respective budget with y'all, but to your point, council member, if there's additional requests, I'm asking on that end, there needs to be some consideration for a potential increase. If there needs to be, we need to move numbers around, and part of what I wanted to mention to y'all, I think I went over most of this with the council, but if you go over some of what you have in your packet, I'll give you an example under the administration. One of the things that, again, if we needed to reduce budgets, as I mentioned to y'all, And if we needed to move dollars to this, for instance, this transportation project that we're looking at. There are some things there that I mentioned to y'all, were added, such as the other legal fees. That was added, that was an increase of $25,000 on the administration budget. The biggest increase, as I mentioned to y'all, and I left it in there for now, because I did go over it with most of y'all, but not all of y'all. There's $150,000 in there, leaders, I think so. For pool expenses, the swimming pool, that was left in there. And so the reason I left it, did you take it out?
I went over. Put it somewhere else.
I don't know where it's at.
Right there.
It's, yeah, I went from 100, so part of that mayor council was again, just some basic understanding of, okay, we're gonna do something with the pool, if we're not, then we could reduce that and or eliminate it altogether. As I mentioned to some of y'all, there's been some requests to potentially help the school district with the pool itself as far as I guess putting it to sleep, if you will, filling holes, whatever it is. So I'm saying that that's part of the request was if y'all wanted to move forward with some sort of preliminary design to anything related to a pool, splash pad, whatever it is that would, that was that line. And then there's another one, couple of them I want to explain because I mentioned to some of y'all under economic development of the 101-341. That is, those are agreements that we have with Whataburger. We've had some facade grants, and we have the PTX, the
shopping center.
sales tax rebate.
You guys don't remember what agreement we have with Whataburger? Is it the property tax or is it sales tax?
It's a combination.
Combination of both. Is it on a increment decrease or is it?
The Whataburger, we didn't finalize the Whataburger, but they didn't say something in there.
Is it like an 80, 70?
No, I'm still waiting for her.
We're still waiting on the Whataburger, but we do have, there was an incentive for, I believe, one-time payment. I need to verify, council. I know there is some.
Please hold.
Amen.
You may continue.
All right,
Can you just announce it?
So-
For the record, so we do have, excuse me, Frank, the record 728, we do have cars coming in.
So that's that, oh, I need to verify council member on, but I know we have an agreement with the Whataburger. We also paid the facade grant, we have paid the facade grants for any projects in the downtown area, and that comes out of that budget, the 101-341. So I know right now, Mr. Patel, we pay him on sales tax rebate.
We pay him quarterly.
We pay him quarterly, and those quarterly payments are around, give or take.
This last payment came out to about 5,000, so I will be cutting the check next Tuesday, so it'll be about 10,000 that we paid in total.
That is Mr. Patel that built the shopping center. So that was capped at $50,000. So once we get paid through with that, we're through, I believe 50,000 was the agreement. We're through with that. And then I mentioned the city has participated in incentives. I think we've come out ahead with every incentive we've been a part of, or we've hopefully been a part of some continuous development. But it's saying that we, as y'all know, we've given some agreements to some of the areas, primarily around 35. So anyway, that's that. The other account is the contingency account. That was a decrease, but I do pull things from that contingency account as I need to. But it's primarily left there for things that we didn't budget for. And then I think there was another increase, I can't remember what that was, but those are the increases, council, to this budget. The rest of them were left as is. And again, I think the increase to this one will also be an increase to, I'm asking for an assistant city manager.
Do you want to bring Moran back?
It's something that, I'm asking for an assistant, would be something that, we do at some point. They're trying to bring in transition as it needs to happen. And so I'm saying that there needs to be some, my suggestion, recommendation, some consideration for an assistant if y'all would consider it. I don't have anything else on the administration budget. These guys, they did a lot of work on these budgets and they put in some time. And so I'll let, I don't know who wants to jump in first. I don't know who the next budget is, but But if y'all have any questions on my budget, again, the budget that I have and all the expenses that y'all have, there's a lot of good ideas that were the council members provided. A lot of potential programs, and there really are, there are things that we do need to do a better job. Again, primarily my opinion for the folks that are probably the most vulnerable, in my opinion, which are the seniors and the young kids. And I'm saying that, if you look at the text, the COG put out, some statistics about 2 or 3 years ago. And while we have a lot of, as far as the population, there's a lot of there's people that are impoverished here in Pearsall, but the people that are the most impoverished are the kids and the elderly. And so he's saying that to me, there needs to be some consideration as best we can to try to help those populations, with some of the things that we can budget here at the city. But anyway, that's the extent of my budget. Again, if there's any questions or thoughts as to what to do as far as the budget on the administration side, I'm all I'm suggesting. Start. What's next?
Whoever wants to.
It works.
So this way. Well, it works. Here's the. This something. Some of this may get hard to see. See how something. What works you just said. Yeah, the budget, I said we final budget, that's gonna be easy, we're gonna breathe, like, we lose. Good, I mean. Yeah. Hey, that's a good picture.
So, okay. So quick introduction, these are the four departments that I'm speaking on,
Yeah, I like those pictures.
So this is gas, street, solid waste and wastewater. Those are the ones, I got help, I brought help. Yomi's gonna help me out, we got Jimmy here is gonna take on the water on the utility side, and then we got Rudy here for any historical reference you might have, any question that deals with the history of utilities. But anyways, we're gonna do the general fund, right? Okay, if you want to go to the street. And what I did was, like I do every year, I just highlight the noteworthy, the increases, even though some of these are small. And a lot of them are due to inflation and, just rising costs here that we've been experiencing here. But there is one big elephant in the room here, which is the 408, 150,000. Mr. Reyes touched on it earlier during his presentation. It is quite sizable, but the goal here, there's two goals here, is to utilize, get more bang for your buck, get more accomplished with what we got. So he added some money there. Couple things that we're trying to do. We're trying out the preservation thing that we're doing that's currently going on here. I believe we want to keep that going. We're gonna attempt to keep that going. The alternative also would be, the other goal would be an alternative to paving in case we ever want to go back to paving, with maybe a chip seal, which would be about half the cost of what we normally pay for paving. And that would get, even at half the cost, it would get 3 times as much as what we normally do. So that's quite a bit. So that's the other thing that we would consider. With the.
I have to interrupt. I know some of the council members have mentioned working with the county on streets. That was one of the considerations. So on that, I don't know the last street you and Joe.
He's not.
What the last street was. Do you remember the cost of that street that we did with the county?
$28,000, and that was a 3 block collaboration there that we did with the county. It was $28,000. That was a chip seal. We did all the grunt work, which was the reconstruction of the road, and they came in with the chip seal. Now, there are other options too as well. I don't know. We do have we've had some people come into the shop and ask if that they would like to get in the mix as far as chip sealing. So we do have some other options out there aside from the county.
Was there charge by the county for the labor and material for the material?
We paid for the material. What they did was just the labor.
The labor and machinery.
The rental of the machinery we paid for and their labor, and from the supervisors to the guy running the machine. So a lot of their stuff was rented, so
that's why we need to go into interlocal agreements, because our city citizens pay taxes to the county. And this is the.
With all- Yes, with all
One
that.
of the things that I have been talking to a lot of people lately, because the people over there, like on Park Plant Road, have already come to me and told me about that road. And then I told them, I said, talk to your commissioner, because your commissioner, that is his precinct. And yes, that's a city road, but the way they come knocking for votes for y'all, that they want votes, they need to come and do their part too, and help us fix the roads. Using the machinery, whatever we need, and they shouldn't charge us because our citizens pay taxes to the county.
And so, Councilman Hernandez, if I may, not brought it up, I don't know how we can dig into it, but we got it. We have.
It's been done in the past.
We did it, it's still, it's just gotta be holding in there somewhere.
It's the substance and the actual, the details to that interlocal. So meaning if the interlocal says that we'll pay to say we pay for the material, and they pay for the labor and machines, how they bring the machines, then that's the interlocal. But if the request for payment for labor is part of the interlocal, because I believe the last one wasn't interlocal. When
It was.
the county. Then the request was to pay for labor and pay for machine. So
The last local agreement we have with the county, basically all it did was say. Give us your help, we'll pay you. We paid for everything.
What was that?
That was-
what we did, the last one we did with Moreno.
South one in the street, yeah, we paid for all the material.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Basically, when we did the last interlocal agreement with them, it was basically just saying, we'll hire you to come help us. At whatever cost, at the cost they gave us, and then. It wasn't a local agreement, like what they're thinking about is basically saying, let's split the cost 50-50 or whatever the case may be. Right?
Oh, it's been done.
Oh, it's been like that.
What's that? The one we made, and it's still there, and I was talking to Fred about it. You can't just go into another one and omit that one, you gotta do something with that one. Legally, you gotta go to them and say, well, we're gonna change this one, do away with this one, do that one.
Unless there was an expiration date to that one.
Let's do something.
It's not, most of America, most of the time, and again, in this case, it's project based, so, and again, in this case, it was project based, so you. If they're saying like, for instance, I think Hector's gonna bring up a Gideon Road or whatever road in this.
Again.
No, Getting Road was the one before this one here.
Oh, yeah.
So that was pretty much the same agreement except on a larger scale. You know, that one, we also paid for the material. We did do some of the work. We did do some of the work to kind of speed things along, but the agreement was we pay for the material, they pay for it. Basically, we think that.
Crystal, that was the mayor, what you see up there in council, what you see is the 22, the fee structure.
These are the labor rates that the county proposed. As you see, this is from Joseph Sinan himself. And then down below is the itemized quotes for the equipment, use of equipment. And this is at an hourly rate. So this is broken down to an hourly rate.
That's the actual.
Yeah.
That's the one that Joseph sent us yesterday. This is the one that we, and it has a.
Is that current? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, this is from 22, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, from 22, right here.
So, I mean, I guess the only thing is that if we don't do a local agreement, we gotta figure out what term there you want, what term we want. See what it is, or look at the one, look to see if that one that the mayor's talking about is still somewhere in the file. But I mean, he was a mayor like 50 years ago, so why not?
We had to throw it away, man, it's just. I don't know, they are starting to be there.
Interlocal.
You know, when you gotta find it,
You gotta go to those things you put in the light.
The archive, oh,
That's right.
If I remember correctly, I think Hector now trying to recount what
With
was.
the film, really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think if there's something where we say we pay for the material, they put in the labor and that's consideration, if that's labor and equipment, I don't know if they're willing to agree to that, but I think. Yeah, that's something.
But next,
Well, nothing, like I said, a lot of the citizens, but. Something about it, and I do explain that to them.
When we sat down, Fred and I and others. I think the commissioners are ready. we gotta break down the hierarchy.
Right, we want this.
No, they're ready, we're talking, they're ready to do something.
Well, they're ready, then let's create a meeting.
Let's just do it.
Let's make a meeting.
And I think he said that last time we met, let's get together.
Let's get a meeting and in that meeting, let's approve things and let's do things and let's get it done.
But going back to the budget, the rest of the all nickel and dime.
Going back to reality.
Right, so I mean, unless y'all have any questions on the rest of this is all just inflation.
Hold on, how we, put that.
We just gotta take a different approach.
Yes.
We gotta take a different approach. We can't,
We've talked, we
Uh,
have not talked, we have
well-
we've screened, we've
Well-
waited, begged.
it just don't, I mean, we just gotta take a different approach. We gotta like,
What we need is.
But we're gonna have to stop.
Yes.
well, it's like Mayor says, you know, it's only a handful of people, but we gotta take a different approach on things. We gotta talk civil, we gotta be professional about things, not just a negative approach.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, but it's
So-
like, people are not gonna talk, we continue being,
I went to a commissioners meeting and to try and be civil, to try and talk. And I was very civil. I got up and I said, may I say something? In my tiniest, sweetest voice. And I got
Very
told
much.
by Joseph Sinden. No,
but I think there was a common vein, from us to say, you know what, when you have them be off camera, it's a whole different.
no.
So
Joseph Sinden made the comment.
again, let's just bring them to the table.
Briscoe, you shouldn't bring your, you shouldn't bring your warriors to a negotiation. And I'm like, what? So he already right there told us everything we needed to know about whether or not he was wanting to sit down with us.
At the end of the day, who makes a decision? It's
That's right.
the court, it's not.
The commissioner said nothing, they let him do whatever he wanted.
So,
They were all sitting right there.
we just need to bring them to the table.
I respect your frustration and all that, and you always have to say, but I think we need to reach it, I think we need to.
So,
Open attack it.
we say we wanna do something, so what are we gonna do? How are we gonna bring them to the table?
That means go.
There you go.
They'll come. Okay. Okay.
Any other questions on that?
Done.
Moving on to right away.
Put them on video. They can.
Okay, so this is an easy one. This is part of the street department as well. And these are just costs too of it. The only thing they have to worry about inside personnel is gonna be small engine repairs, so. This is just an added cost for small engine.
We're doing all those machinery repairs.
Ben does all the small engine repair. Whatever he can handle.
In-house?
In-house.
Okay.
90% of it, it's in-house.
Good. Alright.
And then,
So with that budget, we haven't shared some of this, but then that budget, Hector has, how many people we have in the streets, like? Six.
six and seven, including Joe seven.
So, and then right away was,
Okay, it's true for that.
so it's a total of 9 people in streets and other.
So I shared the discussion during, the one-on-one meeting to take a look at, when it comes to, their salary rates, to keep that retention going to see, and that's something that I think I would recommend that you work with HR to take a look at those, pay rates, I think, to be compatible to other cities and surrounding areas, because again, I mean, people have to make a living, so they have, you wanna pay them to the wage that they should be at.
What's the start rate for these guys?
Entry level, I think,
1485,
14.5?
and then there's of course, if they have experience per year, it goes a little bit up. So it's just a start. Huh? Critical area they also get is the $100 every paycheck. It's extra in the critical area because it is difficult to keep these positions.
Yes, I tell you what I'm saying.
Oh,
Built.
that's actually not bad. The San Antonio landscapers make $15 an hour start pay.
Yeah,
We're getting there, it's, I mean, you all know it's a hard job, being outdoors. and-
it is.
So then they get $100 per pay period, that's those pay periods is what, twice?
26 days.
But twice, bi-weekly. Yes, sir.
So you're proposing a 3% COLA across the board, so that's gonna.
Yeah.
Good.
Go over.
I do wanna mention that even we have two, it's not because of turnover, right? It's because the department has been cut in half, so instead of 4, we have 2.
The driveway, right.
On right away, just the right away.
16, over 16.25 an hour. With the incentive.
$100, Mr. Reyes had increased it because of we were having issues with that. But yeah, if you factor those $100 per pay period, yeah, it's gonna go over $15 to $16.
Yeah, 16, over 16.25.
I mean, they, again, it's even with that, as again, council member is tough, but we try to keep that and water and wastewater positions. I mean, really, I'd say water positions, but it's something that this,
Solid waste.
But you have to also consider the fact that they pay out of pocket their insurance and things of their personal, so it's like they're not going home with
Oh,
that.
my people do too.
So. It's just a consideration that you take a look at, and I think, you know.
So are we good with?
Oh, one more kind of question, Mr. President. On the street part, the street projects, are we gonna now discuss what other streets we're gonna be adding to this budget, or are we?
You have a set schedule, we have a set schedule that we still have to fulfill. This other tactic method that we're trying out now, those included different streets, the original. But if we do go back to paving, then we will defer back to get back on schedule with the streets that are already been paved.
So our lady council member, we had, because you remember, we had, there was a priority list, and so we were working off that priority list, but what we found is the roads that we were doing, we weren't getting a lot of the work, and we were doing, I think the last project was here was behind the jail, and it was the one that's east of you. How many blocks was that in?
About 3.5.
About 3.5 blocks, and that was told, that was complete reconstruction, that cost us $300,000. It was over $300,000 for 3 blocks.
Sure.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap to do those 3 blocks. So when we do roads what we were doing is we were picking the worst roads, but the worst roads cost the most money. And so we're trying the best we can to balance what we're trying to do is keep some of the roads that we have that are okay, and then. And we may try that approach too, we try to keep doing this, and at the same time, maybe we can reconstruct some roads, and it's a lot to.
So we have to revisit that list that we currently have in place. What would we have to do?
Okay, you know, so you put up that priority list on that, you can pull up everything.
I believe so. No, this is from 2022.
Yeah. You know.
So on here, we have South Willow from Comal to Frio, Peach, Colorado to Mulberry, Margot Drive. South.
No, that's the old, that's the.
Yeah, it's the old one.
Yeah, we have the other one. It's been.
We can come back and look at that.
Yeah.
I have a copy, I can reach, but I know we have it.
Yes.
What about, are we gonna go back and revisit the road that they just did, like down the east? Yeah, the new work that they just did, like a few blocks down, is already crappy, there's already holes in it.
Oh, okay, so this is a preservation. What we're trying to do is preserve our good road. It's considered a good road. It was rated and indexed, and it turned out to be a good road, so.
This is just a simple, correct?
Yes, this is like a really thick slurry.
It's just a simple, what it does is prevents water from going underneath this asphalt, and that's whenever you start having the problems.
So it doesn't fill the voids like
Doesn't fill it, right?
Yeah.
It's not, well, I mean, it wasn't, it was nice, it looks like this.
Yeah, what happens is over time when people drive over it, the coat on the top layer starts fading off. But the stuff that goes inside the crack is what's supposed to prevent the water from going penetrating underneath it. So that's when you start having problems.
What they have here is it's a 2 coat, so they two coats.
Yeah.
So that's your issue, come back.
I don't put lots in that.
So, and back to what he was referring to about going back to the paving, that was actual paving. Paving is extremely expensive. The material costs are through the roof. So the alternative would be chip seal. Would be like a dual course, when he's talking seal coat. You know, that would be the alternative. That's literally half the price, so.
This seal coat, they put some like sand in it to make it more coarse.
It all has grit on it.
That's what I did.
Just whatever the other chemicals are proprietary, so we don't know exactly. Just know that it works, so.
Okay, next, one more thing, do we have
Sí, de los años que that's just the one picture. La pintura de una que no touchdown. You know, when you have the two on the right, cut down. It's not that they don't put the. When we bought that truck, it's operational. What's your passion? I don't know what to do. Yeah. Hey Fred, is our patch truck still in operational? It's not operational, our patch truck?
Yes, it's
Did we ever figure out how to operate?
Yeah, this is about the bottom.
the question I'm gonna defer to Craig from what's the operation, the patching.
Okay, so the patch truck currently, we cannot get the flaving portion of it. We are waiting on a team from Waco. Waco, what's the name of that? Typical Waco. Burke's or
Oh,
Timco or, no. It's not Timco, it's,
you're right.
I can't think of the name right now, but we're waiting on them to come in and make an assessment. They're thinking about converting from, from different technology. They can't even get it. They can't guide us on how to get it working again, but everything else works on it. Everything else it does, we do use cold mix with it. We can take and use cold mix. We just can't do hot mix with it at the moment. And that's basically what it's for, hot mix. But we do carry all our tools in and then it has a tamper and all that good stuff. We carry.
Burt Camp.
Burt Camp, there you go. We're waiting on Burt Camp to come in and make an assessment on it. Hopefully it's still, they say even though it's out of warranty, they think they can work with us as far as not charging us for the assessment. So we're still waiting on that. And that is the actual list right there that we're working on. We're on number 5, which is Peach. With, yeah, that one up there. Yeah, so that, a lot of them are gonna be on the west side. That's where we're at. If we go back to that.
We can share that with y'all, the council, we all want to copy that, what, and that is, we can share that with y'all.
So, one more question, this work that they're doing with the steel. Are they gonna come back and look at the streams that they just made and maybe make some little, is there what type of, warranty guarantee do we have on that?
Yeah, as far as
There are some big, crack areas already in place, I just found a little big one in Arcadia, and it. You know, crack there. I mean. Pothole, big, a little, I mean, it just completely came off. Let's show it to you, and that probably has one done the same way it's over there. As long as he comes back, you can try to do fix it again, don't leave without checking them again. Yeah, we can, something's gotta be on.
I'm sure there's gonna be a walkthrough before they can.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, so it's gotta be a walkthrough.
Barring any rain, any more rain that they getting, it should be done wrapping up pretty quick.
I think that'll be not much of that.
Okay. All right, moving on. All right, any more questions? No
questions.
So next one's gonna be right away. This one's like not right away, solid waste.
Solid waste.
Yeah, this is easy. I mean, there's nothing to it. Even Mingo has something to say about it. So this is just an increase to the operational costs, from the Republic. So that's basically all it is. There's no other increases. Nobody on this budget here. Mingo likes it though. Oh, this one, Yomi has this one. Yomi's gonna do this one here.
So for the city pool service centers, we've only got 3 items that we're gonna make changes to. The first one is our fuel costs. We'd like to increase it by 2,000 this year. We're on track pretty much to hit our goal spending, so we just need a slight increase for, fuel prices are increasing. The next increase will be to fleet repairs. That one we are gonna ask for 10,000 more. That's due to the aging fleet repairs. And I'll be doing a fleet presentation here soon today.
Today?
Today, if we have time, so that'll kind of give you. Okay.
That's a minute, we're gonna take a nap, we'll be all right.
Okay. But, and that'll give you kind of a summary of our fleets that get y'all familiar.
Yo, we want to give kind of a summation of what full service is, you, so city pool, what exactly. City full service. What is the budget, what do you budget, what is that budget consist of, just not total, but just in general, what is the city pool budget?
We carry our inventory, so we kind of, parts and things that we, order, I order the bulk for, water, wastewater, streets, gas. And then office supplies for the city. We do fleet repairs. We carry the fuel prices. Fleet registrations. We do PPE. So the janitorial supplies are carried in this budget.
That's what that, so we kind of.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what's.
And I think the last line that we're going to talk about. That's all.
What exactly is it?
That's,
That's
I was. That's the one.
That's capital.
What did I do?
I don't know, but you said you would touch on it.
I have no idea what I just did. I'd have to get to.
What line?
117, 502.
502.
It is
Is it capital?
Yeah, that's under.
equipment.
Yeah, I don't. The increase was 45,000. I didn't know how to.
I don't know what I said. I have to come back to you to tell me that's not a good explanation. Give me a chance to think about why that was the increases there, because I don't remember.
Oh, that's right. 17. Which is,
I don't remember. I have to come back to on that council, because I think that's something that I don't believe I'm talking.
The increases that I factored in, to these two line items were also decreased equally from other line items. So there's no change to the total. I increased it from 12, but I also decreased it by 12,000 on other line items, so there's no change to the total. That's it.
That's it for general fund.
Thank you.
So that's a utility.
Until the rest of whatever's next, DD doesn't volunteer to go next. No, but the PD, you wanna go?
That's utilities.
That's utilities.
Mayor, council. I just I'd like to turn the floor over to Flores to speak on behalf of the Pearsall Police Department, as he's the one that has firsthand knowledge of any budget items that are here.
Anyway. So, do you all have a copy of the budget comparison report in y'all's agenda packets?
You have it on there too, Chris?
Right there.
There it is, that's something I wanna see if y'all had. Y'all be referenced. Yeah, on page 15. Okay, so, please forgive my error, but it's 21. I had, worked on this prior to the new appointment of Mr. Green, the chief. So that's why it's listed as 20. We are officially at 21 right now. We're fully staffed, in my understanding. And we have 2 animal control officers and 2 clerical. It puts our department at a total of 25 full-time employees with 2 reserve officers. We have a total budget for this current year, 2.3 million. It's gonna stay about the same. It's actually going down $62,000. Some of it's gonna be due to various things like office supplies. We're having office supplies we're gonna be getting office supplies from the service center, from Omega, instead of us purchasing them directly. That's something the manager has been working on, and I think it's a good idea. It keeps track of everything a lot better. So that's one of the things, but if you look at this slide up here. I'm gonna just. There's really not a whole lot of change in our budget for this coming year. But I did break it down in slides, so as we have our budget, the sections are personnel, supplies, services, maintenance, and capital. So there will be one slide for each one of those sections. In the first slide for personnel, there was a line item where the funds were removed for employee incentives. That's something I can't speak on. I think that might have been something that was discussed during the transition with police chiefs. So that's something I think Mr. Reyes could probably speak better on. Because that may have moved to something different, so I don't want to speak on that. The vacation buyback, to my knowledge, I don't believe we're doing that this year. Okay. And then over time, we did ask for. I'm not sure if it was something that I had asked for, or if it was just added, but we did increase it to 1,000. That's something we'd like to see. I know overtime isn't a very popular thing. It costs money, but it's essential for departments like mine. Like mine and Hector's. That's just something we have to understand. We have to come to terms. Things happen, and there's times where you have to have the boots on the ground. There's no other way to do it. So we did ask for 10,000 more. Let's see what else we got on personnel. With revenue. There's not much change other than that what I had mentioned, employee incentives and the buyback being taken off of there. Supplies, there was office supplies, it was cut down a little bit, but that is due to some of those supplies going to the service center. We'll be requesting supplies from the service center from the main. The computer systems, line item 203. My understanding, I believe we're gonna be receiving new computers this year. That's what we'd like to. Current computer we have right now are about 7 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been there a while, they're running slow. A lot of our officers, we used to burn discs whenever we had to turn them into the county attorney's office or to the district attorney. But they've been used so hard that those disc, the disc writers, they don't even work on the majority. So I think they've done their time, and I think it's time to purchase a new computer. And then item 203, you'll see. No, I'm sorry. I got mixed up. I'm sorry. I apologize. But there is Mr. Reyes, we're purchasing computers this year.
That's part of the plan. We're trying to. We've got. I think I've got some current concerns also with some of the computer uses at the library for some of the patrons. Some of those computers are outdated. So part of what we've done in previous years is some of the computers we buy for staff, we give those we have those down to patrons. And so I talked to Tony again, what he's told me is that those are the hand-me-downs, if you will be they're compliant with some of the issues we have as it relates to, some of the security concerns. So I think they're 2011 Windows compatible or something to that effect. But I've talked to Tony about it, so the idea is potentially purchasing some computers this year. Tony actually is looking for is quoting, has quotes right now is seeking quotes for the price of new computers. I spoke to Yomi as well to get a count of, and I may mention it to others, count of laptops. We also talked about the PD has tough books. Those tough books are outdated. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot in the sense there's a lot of technology out there, and they've been working with some technology that I don't know how many tough books you guys have in stock, cheap, but cheap and consistent. But I think it's a whole bunch. So there's laptops that they have. There's tough books. The staff, we also have desktops here. Some of these desktops laptops are newer. But I think as far as tough books, I don't know The last time we replaced those, I know that sometimes they come with cars, and we do it as part of the purchase of units. But there are some out there that are outdated, and we need to make considerations for desktops at the very least, and looking at some other technology that we need to purchase for, not just the police department, but other departments as well.
So that was a misunderstanding on my part, and we make that clear. The computer system's $30,000 is anticipation if we get funded for the grant that we requested just for that. For flop cameras for the second year subscription. We're already good on for the most part, 90% we're 100% good, we're almost there. For the current first year, everything's flowing as it should, you know, it's gonna be on time. The 30,000 that's on the it's proposed budget, it's preliminary budget. The preliminary budget, that's in anticipation of us getting funded for this thing. So it's on there. Oh, let's see what else we got. We have nothing else on supplies, on services. Move to the next slide. There was an addition of $50,000 for prisoner services. I don't know. So it is moving from 25 to 75,000 prisoner services. And then we have just an addition of $5,000 to crime prevention. That's gonna.
Sorry, Flores, what is the prisoner services, what is that gonna cover?
That's gonna cover the cost for. It would be the county audit for using it. I don't know, that's cover the medical expenses.
That does not cover the medical expenses, that again, we all that is just a day contract, a day to day. Is the council members going to propose, new revised contract, but right now is the council where there is no contract with the county and the use of jail. So that's part of it, again, we're trying to make sure we're trying to plan for it because we don't know, as best we can. And to their credit, and the police department's credit, trying to assume that there's gonna be at least some sort of payment for the service.
On crime prevention expenses, we're going to be adding, we'd like to add an additional 5,000. That's going to help us reaching out to the community, being a little more active in events and being at more events than we had been previously. It's very costly to purchase just items that have the police department, the logo on it. Something as simple as a box of cups, the little plastic cups that we give away. That's about $700-800 easily. So if you look at something like $5,000, it doesn't stretch very far when you talk about schools wanting us to go to their events, and then the city, us being part of city events, along with other things that we do as a police department. $5,000, it really doesn't go very far. It leaves us giving away things that are very, very small and it's some of the measures. I think with just a little additional funds of 5,000, I think we'll be able to not only attend more events, but also give out things that are a little bit nicer that promote the city and the police department. And on maintenance, we're not expecting any changes, any significant, which is just computer maintenance. It's on maintenance, and then on capital, there is no big change. If you're looking at the actual budget, there is a big number there, but that is those are monies that are there for the grants that we're dealing with. They're not monies that are asked for next year. And if there's any questions that I'd love to answer them, and how I can turn it over to the chief. If there's anything else.
Chief, is there any more grants y'all are working on?
There is something that the chief and I. The chief and I would love to bring to the council's attention. Leave that to him.
Is that something
You'd like to speak on that?
Well, this is I guess an immigration agreement. They do provide. First, I don't have the. I don't have the details in front of me, so it's basically. If we sign the agreement. First initial payment is $100,000 for units. And then there's. However many officers that we sign up. They provide monies for training, for equipment. And it's like $15,000 per officer. To include training and equipment. So these would be requested on a quarterly basis. The sheriff's office is currently
This also helps like the overtime pay, right? For the.
this one doesn't, this is not the overtime.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying it doesn't help.
There's another program that does, this is just, we're just an extension to ICE, I guess.
Oh.
And it's very limited. We're not gonna go, it's not like we're going house to house. It's, we would be able to take them to either the ICE facility, so, or we could call ICE and they would. We're just like very limited, but they're actually, it's free money, you know, it's just an agreement.
But this is only if they're a cop.
No, this is not for the cop, this is our normal everyday duties. Like just the other day, one of our guys stopped an individual. HSI was called, they suspected that he was trafficking kids. We called Border Patrol, they took the kids, they took him, and it was, they believe it's more than just the kids that were passing that, so basically it's free money, that we can utilize. I mean, it's what it is, we just gotta sign the agreement.
It's just bonding the city with the immigration system to say you're the middleman that's gonna be responding to ICE as far as issues. But I'm curious to know, you and I both know what the role is at the county level. What is the role at the city level? To what extent are you able, because you guys are not able to travel outside the jurisdiction of the
And
system, so.
it's not that, it's in our normal day, everyday duties. We're not, if we come across somebody, which we always do, if one of our guys is on 35, they come across them all the time. And we're still doing the same job, but
Now you got money.
now we got money
Money to
to,
put aside for that.
yeah.
It's the same duty that they have, but it's if they run into somebody that's illegal. I just will help them, we have somewhere to house them, that's what it's doing.
We're not paying the county then.
So we're not paying more for them because they're just doing the duty.
Yeah.
It's the regular patrol, whatever they do,
That's what it is.
that's what it is, that's all it is. It's free money, put it that way.
They come across with they are, well, they come across.
Hey, for the records, Chris, he's 11, Rachel got some.
Thank
Amen.
Yeah.
So the program the chief is speaking about is called the 287G program from the federal government. Frio County is taking part in it, they've been taking part in it for, I'd say a little over a year, or close to a year now. They are receiving good funding from them. There are agencies that the state requires to take part in it, but those are gonna be like your metropolitan sheriff's offices, like Bear County, Harris County, Travis County, Tarrant County. All of those big counties, they're required, or they lose funding from the state level. This is something that we'd like to jump on, because like the chief is saying, it's money that it's just slipping through our hands, and we don't jump on it. It's something that we do already. We're not gonna go house to house like you mentioned, we're not gonna go kick doors in and chase people around. It's just that we come across them during our normal course of duties, that we would detain them, notify ICE. And then get their direction, whether take them to Frio County or take them to the Geo facility. And just like that, we can build a better relationship with ICE. We're gonna get paid for it.
So is there a program you said it was a program you gotta go through?
What's it?
A program? to
It's
do
a
like-
program.
that you have to do, I guess.
You have to do 40 hours of training.
And then it's.
That's all. And it's through
Gotcha,
internet.
gotcha.
It's a program that I think would be beneficial. And
It's like,
Chief,
like you're fast.
I only have one
Be able to
question.
work with ICE.
So if y'all pick up, say, y'all will take it to the ICE facility, and y'all take them to the Frio County, are they still gonna pick up the tab, or we've gotta pick up the tab and then they reimburse us?
that's a good question. I don't have an answer for that. but-
I do have a
Can you, kind of ask,
Yes, sir.
see where y'all are
We can
at?
find that out.
Okay.
I have a question. So, chief, so if y'all do a stop, okay, or y'all have a stop and it happens to be somebody that's needy or whatever. Per se, they have drugs or they have money, do y'all get, when y'all stop them and make that, with this, do y'all get a percentage of it? Or how does that work?
So if it's a significant amount of money,
Yes.
then if we seize that money. Then we would take that money, put it in the bank, and then we notify the DA's office, and they do get a percentage. If we seize it, because they do all the paperwork. And
And that would kind of be along the lines, I guess I'm taking it another step forward. Say there's somebody that y'all stop that is smuggling immigrants and there is also, because they get paid with money to do that.
that would all depend on the situation. If we do seize a large portion of money, then we would do a seizure report, the DA's office will get involved. And then they get a portion of it.
I think ICE, all they want is for them to.
Transport.
If I don't think ICE is gonna want a percentage of whatever they have.
Right.
They just want
It's
to
the
transport.
initial, nice.
Right.
The initial people or the initial police station or county, whatever, so they're the ones that get the money. ICE just wants to put it.
Yeah, question. Yeah.
So there's some administrative work behind that, so who's gonna be assigned to do the administrative?
Sure.
Who's gonna be taking care of the administrative part of it? Cause there's gonna be some reporting that have to be done.
It would either be myself or Flores, I mean, we have to start somewhere, so either you or I we'll take care of it up.
What are the cities that are in agreement with
Sir?
this? What are the cities that are in agreement? I know that there's all the counties, but majority of the counties.
There's a list online, sir, you'd like to see, it's a current list, if you look up.
Surrounding cities.
G program. You'll find.
But do you know?
You'll find several towns, and cities around there, I believe Augie's part of it. I wanna see Hondo, pretty much all the major towns.
Sign it.
Sign it, go ahead.
Those has to come be offered for approval, okay?
Is that an action item?
Next meeting.
The sooner the better, cause I've already reached out to them and I told them we had to wait for time, so.
Yeah, that's fine. Next meeting. Okay, great. Good to go, right?
Moving on. Item number 5.
No, we're here, we're just starting, right? First quarter. Now, who's next? I forgot.
I was notified by Brooke that.
Yeah, there was no major
There's no-
to the.
Okay, good. Next.
Okay, there we go.
Parks and Rec.
That's the one.
Is anybody here from the?
They still haven't hired.
Nope.
Next.
I think might have no.
So, hey, but he's not here, right? Did you get?
No, he'll be introduced at the next one.
He has the perfect time to grab one for the budget.
Again, just like Hector, it's short, sweet, simple.
So are we fully staffed at fully staffed with Parks and Recs?
I am now, I now received two from right of way. I now have an additional body for Parks and Rec.
Got it.
And then I also split it with facilities.
So increase in wages and salaries, I think that due to the.
That's the reason why, that's due to the extra individuals. This is gonna reflect the two individuals,
The new,
correct, that we got from right of way. Oops, sorry.
so that's roughly $230,000 wages, right?
Correct.
So 60.
So that's that increase, we're not getting that much of a 3% total. That's literally for the two extra bodies that we did get, but one did go to parks, one is split with facilities, so that is gonna need to be changed. Right there, and then,
The maintenance and the repairs, does that also go in-house with the? Oh, yes, okay, she answered it.
and then, building maintenance, an additional 6,000 salaries and the wages for summer rec, that is a new line item. We do wanna try to do a summer rec program next year. Now, what we did learn was that in years past, it's not staff that's doing it. We actually hired staff to man the program. To include an administrator to oversee the staff, or a director, if you will, of the program itself. So it wasn't necessarily Ram doing it every single day. He had an administrator to take care of the day-to-day and deal with the staff and the program itself. Yes.
That
So
doesn't include that, though, just what it said.
this is the 3,500 that was included in the budget.
You know what I'm saying is, what would that cost me to have staff? What you just described.
That we don't have a number.
I believe what we're saying is that what we're talking about is some red goals, we kind of give them an idea what we're thinking with that budget.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way you can run a summer rec for $3,500.
Yeah, no, this is just supposed to be, this is what was put in the budget for the wages for it. This is gonna need a severe increase. Depending on how big of a program it is that we run, because we do get at least 100 to 200 kids. We're gonna have to either cap it, but definitely this is gonna need an increase.
Okay.
Again, right here, the 55% increase to labor operations, that's gonna be due to the two individuals that were moved from, the two employees transferred from right away to Parks and Rec. And then reestablishing the youth recreation program. Again, it is gonna need a severe dollar increase. That's just what we have budgeted currently for it. It's gonna need that number's gonna need to go up for sure. We will have finalized numbers on that.
Council, and part of the reason that it has not increased, one was, one time the school had to have a school program.
Right.
And that ended in 24, number 24, 25.
ACE program.
And base program. And then the other one was we were, the pool, so we were relying on the pool and time to council, there was no consideration for any increases to anymore. As far as activities for the new or summer program, so that's why that was reduced / eliminated all from the budget. We do some things for the youth, but I don't know on that end. There hasn't been any discussion with the school district as far as using their facilities. I think at one time for that program Crystal described, I think the school provided a place and they provided food.
Correct, it was right, yeah, we provided food and then also the JP wing on the other side. That entire wing was dedicated to the summer rec program for the different age groups and different activities. And then in addition to that, they assisted with the transportation, anytime we had like the Schlitterbahn Day, movie day. The Texas Parks and Wildlife, going out there to the pond to fish with the kids, any type of transportation, it was provided by the school. So it was a very, very heavy-handed partnership with the ISD. So with the ending of that agreement and there being no more pool, and again, in the afternoon, the kids would hit the pool. Now there's absolutely nothing to go with that. Building maintenance, Unfortunately, we do have aged buildings. Across the street, it was originally a bank. We do have some work that needs to be done there, our HVAC system, just the structure of the building itself, the roof. Our PD unfortunately, is aged out. It is a newer building. But we do have some issues that were identified there, but we've. I think they're taking care of
Was that PD?
the building.
Oh, yeah, we,
The PD.
it's the,
Yeah, that's been mitigated. There was a little bit of an issue on the back portion, but it's been mitigated. So, but the HVAC system is something that we do need to work on. As of right now, I do have one quote in my email. For I'm gonna say a very large Band-Aid on the system, and it's ranging from $8,000 to $9,000 on the PD alone. And we do need revamping on the HVAC system across the street as well. So.
They just open up windows.
But the fans.
Why should I windows like opened up? Same thing, repairs and maintenance, the slight increase, we did get 2 employees, wanna go ahead and get, one employee. Wanna go ahead and get an additional blower, weed eater, just in case something goes down too. Another thing we do a lot with is our mowers or blades, because we have facilities, we have a lot of acreage to cover. Our blades do dull out very, very quickly, so we do sharpen them, but we do need to get them replaced ever so often. This is just a breakdown overall of the increases that are reflected in the budget. Utility funds, that's not something that we create, that's, I think, internet is what's going to that. This is just showing in a pie chart the increases. And that's it. Thanks.